by the presiding officer. We'll then go through the bios and individual remarks by the outgoing commanding officer and then the incoming commanding officer, and then we'll just have a conclusion. So, oh, apologies. Lieutenant Commander Chris Patterson has a long history with the cadet program. He was originally with Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps Ajax in Guelph as a cadet. He rose through the ranks attending summer training at HMCS Ontario and HMCS Quadra. The pinnacle of his cadet training was a cruise aboard HMCS Preserver in 1988. He attained the rank of Chief Petty Officer, second class, and held the position of coxswain at the Corps. Once he aged out of cadets, he enrolled in the CIC as an officer cadet in 1990. He remained with the Corps as band officer, boats officer, and training officer until 1996, when he accepted the position of officer commanding No. 4 Sales Center, Guelph, a position he held for 2 years until a civilian job transferred him to Alberta. Lieutenant Commander Patterson continued to volunteer his time with Ajax as band officer while serving with the Sales Center. During his time as an officer, Lieutenant Commander Patterson had the privilege of being on the commissioning crew of the United States Naval Sea Cadet ship Grey Fox, sailing her from Florida to her current home on the St. Clair River in Port Huron, Michigan. Lieutenant Commander Patterson earned the United States Naval Sea Cadet Meritorious Service Ribbon for this adventure. While in Alberta, Lieutenant Commander Patterson volunteered with Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps Warrior and subsequently took command of Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps Mackenzie in Stony Plain. He held this position for 5 years until his return to Ontario in 2004. Lieutenant Commander Patterson was then appointed Executive Officer of Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps Ajax. In 2005, Lieutenant Commander Patterson took command of Ajax, a position he held until 2008. While having completed his 3-year term, he handed over command to his wife, Lieutenant Naval Susan Patterson, CD. In September 2008, he then assumed command of Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps Warspite, where he enjoyed a successful 5-year term at the helm. Lieutenant Commander Patterson once again assumed command of his home corps, Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps Ajax, in 2013, a position which he held until June of 2015, when he was promoted to Lieutenant Commander and appointed as a Regional Cadet Advisor for the Regional Cadet Support Unit Central Detachment London. In 2017, Lieutenant Commander Patterson was transitioned into his current role as the Area Elemental Advisor for Sea. Lieutenant Commander Patterson was awarded the Canadian Forces Decoration in 2002 and received his first clasp in 2012. Lieutenant Commander Patterson is married to Lieutenant Naval Susan Patterson and has 2 children, Ryan and Rebecca, both of whom have been cadets at Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps Ajax. Lieutenant Commander Patterson is employed at Massels Marine in New Hamburg and enjoys woodworking, boating, and seamanship. I'm going to pass it off to Lieutenant Commander Patterson.
Thank you, C.I. Horton. Major Mitchell, Captain Legge, guests, family and friends, and cadets. Thank you for having me as the presiding officer for this change of command. It's something we don't do all the time. We recognize our cadets. We don't necessarily recognize the achievements of our staff quite as often as we should. The change of command is designed, I guess, in a way to signify the movement from one person in charge to the next. We talk often about the privileges of a commanding officer. The more senior, we always talk about rank has its privileges. But there's also a little piece called the burden of command that's in place there. So yes, there is some perks as our ranks get higher, but with that, there is lots of responsibility and hard work that has to happen. I know at 296 you have a staff that will support both, has supported the outgoing CO and definitely will continue to support the incoming CO for the success of the unit. So normally at a change of command, we would have completed an inspection. We would have had a march past for the incoming CO. And then after the change of command, we would carry on with a march past for the outgoing CO. Unfortunately, 2021 being what it is in our virtual world, we are doing this virtually today. To signify the change of command, typically, and especially with air squadrons, the squadron banner is passed from the outgoing commanding officer to the presiding officer, and then at that point, they are relinquishing command. We would then pass the squadron banner from the presiding officer to the incoming to signify that transfer of command. Again, we're going to have to pretend that that happens and go virtually there. So when we talk about change of commands, we want to signify that the outgoing person has done a successful job, and we know that is true with 296. And I guess I should talk a little bit about my relationship with 296 Squadron. Back in 2015, I'm losing track of years, when I took this job on, one of the very first units that I visited was 296 City of Cambridge Squadron. It was welcomed by then Major Variant, sorry, didn't mean to demote you, and was made very much felt at home. To add to that, the very last unit I visited back in March 11th, 2020, was 296 City of Cambridge Squadron. We had a long discussion that night about what might happen if this pandemic got worse. And it was only a couple of days later that the pin was pulled and we were shut down. So I've had lots of great experiences while working with the unit. I have lots of units that I visit and interact with, but definitely none have made me feel more welcome than 296. So thank you very much for that. It seems like yesterday, but in fact it was 4 years ago, that we changed, that I was also the presiding officer when Major Variant handed over command to Major Mitchell. 4 years has passed, another successful term is in the books, and now we're going to pass it on to Captain Legge. Captain Legge, I don't know you very well. I've met you a few times. You already have one leg up, and I'm proud to say that we share a hometown and a few other things in common, i.e. the band and whatnot. So anybody from Rockwood has to be a good guy. There's no doubt about that. So I'm sure you'll do well. You're taking on a responsibility of a large unit and a very successful unit, and you have big shoes to fill. But I have no doubt that you will be able to take up that challenge and carry on with the legacy that 296 has always had. So I'd like to say welcome and good luck in future endeavors. And I'm sure we'll be able to see each other in the very near future, because all indications are come September, we will allow to be back with feet on the ground and cadets in front of us. So to carry on with the official change of command ceremony, I'm going to have Major Mitchell repeat after me to relinquish command.
Yes, sir.
So, I, and state your name,
I, Chris Mitchell,
certify that I have on the 16th day of June 2021
certify that I, on the 16th day of June, 2021,
relinquish the command of 296 RCACS, Cambridge, Ontario.
relinquish command of 296 City of Cambridge Squadron, Royal Canadian Air Cadets.
And with that, on behalf of Lieutenant Commander Martin and Lieutenant Voss, I'd like to thank you very much for your service as commanding officer. I know you're not going away, and the unit will benefit from your continued support going forward and mentorship of the staff and senior cadets. So again, thank you very much. And normally we'd have a round of applause at this point and a big send-off. Captain Legge.
Sir.
This is where you go into the hot seat. So again, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Chris Legge,
certify that I have on the 16th day of June 2021
certified that I have on the 16th date of June 2021
assumed command of 296 RCACS, Cambridge, Ontario.
Assumed command of 296 City of Cambridge.
Excellent. Welcome. Good luck. Your unit will support you, and I wish you the best of success in your future endeavors. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir.
So that concludes my part of the ceremony per se. I think there's going to be a change of command certificate pop up on the screen shortly. Normally, what we would do is sit down at tables and each sign 3 copies of that document, which we will get together and do. We've taken care of that virtually, and then I'll turn it back over to CI Horton to introduce, or I guess introduce and allow the incoming and the outgoing CO to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So this is the change of command certificate that Lieutenant Commander Patterson mentioned. It's very much the standard, and our office has many of these from the many commanding officers that we've had, that we've been lucky to have. I'm going to read the biography now from Major Mitchell, and then he's going to have a few remarks. Major Chris Mitchell was born in Cambridge, Ontario, and joined 296 City of Cambridge Squadron in the fall recruit intake of September 1986. He graduated the Air Cadet Training Program in May 1993 at the rank of Warrant Officer Second Class, and having completed both glider and power pilot scholarships, as well as the National Senior Leaders Course in Cold Lake, Alberta. Following his cadet career, Major Mitchell enlisted in the primary reserves as a member of the then Highland Fusiliers of Canada, where he was a member for 4 years. Major Mitchell returned to 296 Squadron in 1997 as a civilian volunteer after leaving the regiment to pursue full-time employment at Toronto Pearson Airport in his field of study. Following a short period as a civilian member, he enrolled in the Canadian Armed Forces Cadet Instructor Cadre in the fall of 1997 and was granted a Queen's Commission the following year. He has attended various qualification courses at CAF bases across Ontario, including all required rank and elemental training courses, as well as several related to adventure training. This was Major Mitchell's second appointment to commanding officer, as he initially assumed command of 296 Squadron's City of Cambridge Squadron in June 2001 for a 9-year period, during which he was appointed to the rank of Major. Major Mitchell is a graduate of the Aviation Management Program at Georgian College in Barrie, Ontario, with a diploma in airport operations. He works at Toronto Pearson International Airport as an Associate Director, Airport Operations for the Greater Toronto Airport Authority. Major Mitchell continues to live in Cambridge with his wife, Allison, and their 2 girls, Madeline and Caitlin. I'll now pass to Major Mitchell.
All right. Thank you, CI Horton. And to everyone else, thank you all for the honor and privilege to be the commanding officer once again at 296 City Cambridge Squadron. Thank you to Lieutenant Commander Patterson for acting as our presiding officer this evening, and for all the work that you've done for the squadron, but also for the cadet program over your many years of service. I'd like to start by speaking to the squadron sponsoring committee. This team of volunteers is an integral part of the squadron, without whom we wouldn't be able to do what we enjoy doing as a squadron. Their often unsung and tireless efforts go unpraised, and thankfully that's not why you're here. I've enjoyed your support and camaraderie throughout my tenure and look forward to continuing to work with you in other capacities. Cadets, you're the reason that we're all here. Without you, we wouldn't have a program, and all our efforts are spent to ensure that we can deliver the best program we can at 296. For lack of a better term, we see you join as kids. And for those of you that make a full cadet career, we see you leave as young adults who have had some role in, and we have had some role in preparing you for the world ahead. We've enabled you to learn, to serve, and to advance, and ultimately further yourselves as you've grown. Ultimately, we look forward to keeping connected with the squadron, and in some cases, seeing you come back and return to the unit in some capacity in the future. And lastly, to the staff, the group I work with most closely and with let me start again. The group I work most closely with and rely on as the squadron CO to execute on the delivery of the cadet program here at 296. While I'm technically not the staff's commanding officer, I am the principal point of connection between them and headquarters. And as a CO, you get to share the good news, you get to make announcements and promotions on behalf of the unit, but you also have to provide leadership in challenging times, motivating a group who, while steadfast, committed to the program, also have to work with its complications and setbacks. The staff here at 296 are professionals. They're rock stars. We are, and I have been fortunate to be able to represent them and work for them over this tenure as CO, and I thank them for it. Captain Legge, you're in great hands with this team. All the best, and if I can help you to make your term as great as mine has been, I welcome the opportunity to continue to work with you. Thank you, everyone.
I'm now going to read the biography for Captain Legge, and then he'll have a few remarks. Captain Chris Legge was born in Rockwood, Ontario. He spent 7 years as an Air Cadet in 197 Typhoon Squadron, where he retired at the rank of Warrant Officer First Class and Squadron Warrant Officer in 2009. During his tenure as an Air Cadet, he played tenor saxophone in the squadron band and was a drum major. Captain Legge attended multiple cadet summer training centers, including Advanced Military Band at Blackdown, National Exchange to Oshkosh, Wisconsin for the EAA Air Adventure, and finally Power Pilot Scholarship at Durham Flight Center in Oshawa, where he was appointed Deputy Parade Commander for the Wings Parade in 2008. In addition to earning his wings, he was awarded the Royal Canadian Legion Medal of Excellence and the Air Cadet Service Medal. While attending university, Captain Legge became a civilian instructor with 27 City of London Squadron and later enrolled in the Canadian Armed Forces Cadet Instructor Cadre in December of 2010. He quickly completed all necessary CAF qualification courses in addition to Unit Cadet Conflict Management Advisor, Range Safety Officer, Flat Water Canoe Instructor, and Orienteering Instructor. During the summer months of 2011 to 2013, Captain Legge was employed as Deputy Flight Commander of the Aircraft Maintenance Course and the Administration Officer of the Advanced Aviation Technology course held in North Bay at Canadore College. Captain Legge is a graduate of the University of Western Ontario with a Bachelor's of Business Management and Organizational Studies specializing in Commercial Aviation Management, class of 2013. He spent a semester abroad at the European Business School in Germany, where he received the Germany Fellowship Scholarship based on academic merit. In the fall of 2013, Captain Legge started his civilian career working for Air Canada as an in-flight service crew scheduler and is presently employed as an operations control manager in system operations control. Captain Legge resides in Cambridge with his wife Emma and their golden retriever Maverick. Captain Legge?
Thank you, sir. I want to express that I'm deeply honored to take command of 296 City of Cambridge Cadet Squadron. I knew that it could be a matter of time, but I'm still slightly surprised the day has finally come. Thank you to Lieutenant Commander Patterson for being our presiding officer this evening. To the cadets, I am blown away by your talent every day. The skills, character, and potential I have seen from my short time here at 296 is truly amazing and makes me proud to be your new commanding officer. This organization is very important to me. It's something I truly believe in. My message to you, the cadets, is that opportunity is there. The staff at 296 will continue to guide, but you, the cadets, are the future. Take the opportunities presented, take initiative, and run with it. When we return to in-person training, this is your time to develop your leadership, have fun, and learn a variety of new skills along the way. Look after each other, always build each other up, and take chances. To the Squadron Sponsoring Committee, thank you for all you do for the squadron. This has been a tough year financially for a lot of squadrons, but the hard work and dedication you put into 296 allows us to create the best possible cadet experience and build a stronger community. Thank you. I look forward to working side by side for the duration of my command, continuing the great partnership we have. Lieutenant Commander Patterson, Lieutenant Navy Voss, and detachment, my heartfelt thank you for your leadership, communication, and support. We are extraordinarily lucky to have a great working relationship with our detachment in Southwestern Ontario. Going forward, I plan to leverage that support to create an even better cadet experience, especially when we can get back to in-person training. To Major Mitchell, my sincere appreciation for all you have done for the cadets, staff, and squadron. This was your second command at 296. Your leadership and knowledge are invaluable, as demonstrated by the caliber and performance this unit has seen during your tenure. I'm sure I will quickly find out the amount of time that goes into this role. So before I realize what I got myself into, I want to thank you. Thank you for the countless hours you have invested. You have contributed greatly to the squadron, and I will do my absolute best to continue the trajectory that you have set us upon. This year wasn't ideal for transfer of command, so I also want to thank you in advance for your continuing support as I settle into the role. To the staff, this team, or even family as I see it, is one of the biggest reasons I felt comfortable enough to volunteer for this position. You welcomed me with open arms and made me one of your own. Your efficiency astounds me. From running of social media accounts and website, facilitating Zoom meetings over the last year with 5 different breakout rooms and 5 different computers and laptops, COVID safety briefings, range when we can do it, continuing the progress on our pipe and drum band, all the training plan adjustments, ground school, and the future supply overload when we go back to in-person training, outfitting cadets that have been growing for a year and a half. Thank you, Greg. I know it's a lot, but you're making a huge difference. I welcome your input and feedback as I take my first command. I will call upon your help at times. Together, I know we can make the squadron the best it can be. I'm sure there will be challenges over the next little while, but know we will overcome it together. And you have my full support. I will do right by you, honoring the decades of history and tradition of this great squadron while improving where I can to bolster a positive future. Thank you to my support network. I wouldn't be here without my mom, dad, sister, my family, fellow officers, civilian instructors, RCIS staff, colleagues, amazing friends inside and outside of the cadet program. From the young age of 12 in a small Air Cadet Squadron in Acton, all the way through to my current time at 296, a huge thank you goes to my support network. Your lessons in leadership and in life are irreplaceable and were instrumental in getting me to this point. Finally, thank you to my wife, Emma. This whole cadet universe can be challenging on the better half. The weekends away, phone calls, emails, planning, obligations can be a lot sometimes. Thank you for your encouragement, understanding, and for talking things through with me. Taking command is a great responsibility and has always been a goal of mine. I would not be able to do any of this without you in my corner. I want to leave you off with a small story. It's mostly for the cadets, but I'm sure the adults could use a reminder. When I first graduated university, I was riding a high. Things were going really well. I had great friends. I was involved in cadets in the community. Smart, fairly smart, good interpersonal skills, reasonable amount of work experience. I applied for an entry-level position at Sunwing Airlines. I was networking. I connected with a former student who was currently working there, and I was feeling confident. I ended up being passed over by someone younger, a student in the year below me, who I thought had less experience. I was shocked at the time. That summer, I ended up working as an administration officer at the Advanced Aviation Technology course in North Bay. A great job, but a contract position, nothing to signify the start to my career in aviation that I had dreamed of since I was 12. After that summer, I applied to Air Canada on a whim. If Sunwing didn't want me, what were my chances with Air Canada? It is our nation's flag carrier after all. Well, I put that Sunwing rejection behind me and doubled down. I went into that interview with confidence and absolutely smashed it. I got the job and I was very good at it. The opportunities I've had at Air Canada have been amazing. Career-wise, that rejection was the best thing that could have happened to me. The lesson I learned was that failure is okay. Sometimes it's a part of the process. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving. If everything goes your way, you learn nothing. Tough times create tough people, and the last year has been tough. I look forward to our future together.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony for today. On behalf of the staff, cadets, sponsors, we'd like to welcome Captain Legge to this list of fine commanding officers of 296 Squadron, many of whom could join us today. Again, thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a good evening.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Sierra
everybody,
Gordon.
for being here.